Each morning when I awake, I experience again a supreme pleasure, that of being Salvador Dali.
If you are truly normal, let us warn you first. What you will hear from now will not be ordinary. In the coming minutes, we will push the limits of logic, confront many absurd and incomprehensible ideas. Welcome, art enthusiasts and dreamers, to the surreal world of one of the 20th century's most iconic artists. Salvador Domingo Felipe Jacinto Dali was born on May 11, 1904, in Figueres, a small town in Catalonia, Spain. Dali's childhood was steeped in both tragedy and artistic spark. He lost his older brother to meningitis just before his birth, a loss that would forever haunt his dreams and fuel his obsession with mortality. He raised in a family that nurtured his artistic talents. Young Salvador showed early signs of brilliance. His formal art education began at the Royal Academy of Fine Arts of San Fernando in Madrid, where he quickly gained attention for his unique style. He experimented with different artistic styles such as Impressionism, Cubism, and Dada. These new movements, originating from France and Switzerland, were not very common in Madrid at that time, and Dali's works quickly began to attract attention. During his years in Madrid, Dali became close friends with filmmaker Luis Buñuel and poet Federico Garcia Lorca, who were also avant-garde art enthusiasts. Dali went to Paris in 1926 and met Pablo Picasso, for whom he greatly respected. For the next few years, Picasso's influence would predominate in Dali's work.
Those who do not want to imitate anything produce nothing.
In March 1928, together with art critics Luis Montaigne and Sebastià Gasch, he wrote the Catalan Manifesto against art, advocating modernism and futurism in art. In 1929, Dali joined the Surrealist movement, a group of artists and writers who explored the subconscious and the irrational through their works.
Surrealism is destructive, but it destroys only what it considers to be shackles limiting our vision.
Dali's paintings, drawings, and sculptures were full of bizarre and dreamlike images, such as melting clocks, distorted figures, and fantastical creatures. He used a technique called the paranoiac critical method, which involved inducing a state of paranoia and interpreting the resulting hallucinations as artistic inspiration. He was heavily influenced by Sigmund Freud's theories of psychoanalysis, and his art became a playground for exploring repressed desires, hidden fears, and the bizarre logic of dreams. The avant-garde short film, An Andalusian Dog, which he shot with his friend Luis Buñuel in 1929, brought the duo great fame in surrealist art circles. In the same year, where he met André Breton and Paul Eluard, the pioneers of the surrealist movement, through the painter Joan Miro. Eluard's wife, Gala, attracted Dali's attention from the moment they met, and in the summer of 1929, a passionate relationship began between Dali and Gela, which would later turn into marriage. She became his constant companion, model, and manager, and influenced many of his artistic decisions. Dali was deeply devoted to her, and often painted her portrait or included her image in his works. The Persistence of Memory is perhaps his most famous work reflecting this period. This haunting image, with its melting clocks, draped over barren landscapes, perfectly captures Dali's fascination with time's fluidity and the subconscious mind. During the Spanish Civil War, Dali and Gela moved to France, where he continued to produce surrealist works, but also experimented with other genres, such as film, photography, and jewelry. To represent the horrors of the Spanish Civil War, he created soft construction with boiled beans. He also became involved in political controversies, as he supported the Francoist regime in Spain and was expelled from the Surrealist group for his alleged fascism. He later claimed that he was not a political person, but only a Dalinian.
Wars have never hurt anybody except the people who die.
In 1940, they moved to United States. Dali collaborated with Walt Disney on a short animated film titled Destino. Some of his other famous works include Dream, caused by the flight of a bee around a pomegranate, a second before awakening. The Temptation of St. Anthony, The Lobster Telephone, Galatea of the Spheres, and Portrait of Paul Eluard, the most expensive work by Salvador Dali ever sold, fetching $22.5 million at a Sotheby's art auction in 2011. Between 1955 and 1978, his work was deeply influenced by genetics in particular, and especially by DNA and its structure. Dali suggested that there is still a cosmic order in the universe by incorporating spirals into the composition. He felt that the spiral was the basic form of life. In 1974, he returned to his hometown of Figueres and transformed the local theater into his very own surreal masterpiece. The Dali Theater Museum is a labyrinthine journey into the artist's mind, filled with oversized eggs, melting clocks, and optical illusions. It's a testament to his boundless creativity and his desire to leave a legacy as grand and eccentric as his life itself. Dali passed away on January 23, 1989. With his distinctive mustache and flamboyant manner, Salvador Dali was much more than a painter. He was a spectacle in his own right, the most iconic figure of all time. So, that's the extraordinary story of Salvador Dali. We hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to Durufu for more art and culture videos.
There is only one difference between a madman and me. The madman thinks he is sane. I know I am mad.